Here we go. It's the Kopite Podcast.
Hello. Welcome to the Kopite Podcast, and that sums up what we've just seen. I'm Matt, and I'm joined by Tim, Mick, that one's easier, and Jay. How are you guys?
Yeah, all right, Matthew. Fucking hell.
That was disappointing. Okay. Where to begin? Well, I mean, I guess we're all kind of bummed, aren't we?
I feel like I've been bummed. Fucking honestly, Big Sam wearing that mask that entire game because that's what you wear on buses, and he fucking parked the biggest bus ever. Fucking ridiculous. But to be fair, are any of us surprised at the way he played? Really, because we all know what he's about. He's brought so many teams to Anfield. He's always played like that. I'm not surprised the game went like that. Probably because we all thought, "Oh, could he really make that much of a difference within a week?" Well, obviously, that proves it. But giving a lot of credit to West Brom and Big Sam, obviously, but we were fucking shit that second half. We really were. I really thought we could get somewhere, but we couldn't.
Well, yeah, that's exactly the point that I think that we should touch on more than anything is that second half was dreadful, but that first half we were all over the place, and I kind of got the impression that we're going to regret not taking all these chances that we're carving out in this first half, and I guess that's what happened, isn't it, Mick?
Yeah. Like Boss Mane goal after what, like 12 minutes. That's like same as like Palace in a way where you get a nice early goal. And you need to push on from that, especially like you said, Jay. Like you know what you're gonna face a 6-4 formation across 6 across the back, and then 4 across the middle, just blocking all paths and access passes. And it was just one of them. Like it's just you need to make your chances tell. And that was like Mane had one, didn't he, as well in the first. Good ball from Hendo after he scored, and he good header, but they weren't chances. They were just half chances really. Like we needed to. We weren't turning the screw in the same way we did, and like second half, you're expecting like a rocket from Klopp saying like let's start turning the screw here and like at least get a goal as soon as we can to kill it off. Because the longer the game went on, the more adventurous they were being. Because why wouldn't they be? Like especially given we kept giving away like sloppy corners and stuff, and that's what their goal came from. Like Curtis Jones dawdling on the ball and they get a corner off it and they score. It was like, well, they kind of deserved it because we just didn't put them to bed, so we were asking for trouble.
And yeah, I mean, one thing that we need to touch on, I suppose, apart from the disappointment of well, it feels like a defeat. Apart from the disappointment of the draw, is that we've now got no fit senior centre backs, do we, Tim?
Yeah, I feel partially responsible for that because me and Mick were talking in the pre-game show, and I was saying, "Oh, it's nice to see Matip, 2 games in a row, all this kind of stuff." And then half an hour in, and he's on the floor. Yeah, I mean, just again, it was worst case scenario. You lose a centre back, and you give away a game that was in the first half. You thought that was there for the taking. I mean. Yeah, it's kind of that game might hurt us in the long run in more ways than one with that Matip injury, and obviously dropping the 2 points. It would have been great to have pushed on and kept the lead at the top of the table at 5. But I mean, it just puts a little bit more pressure on going to Newcastle and getting a result now. We've got to go up to, and Newcastle isn't an easy place to go, and it's pressure's on a little bit now because Everton are on a bit of a run of form, and I know the likes of Chelsea have dropped points, but Man City are coming good now, and all these kind of teams, and these kind of results might come back to bite us on the backside, and in the back stretch of the season.
Yeah, I mean, Jay, you said off air, it was like no one wants to win this league. It's just it's a golden opportunity wasted, isn't it?
Yeah, mate, and that's what's really pissing us off. And again, you look at the Fulham game. When we drop points, other teams around us have dropped points as well. And you thought going into that game we can capitalise on that and have a gap, and we failed again. And you know what? After 11 minutes, I was watching the game, and you think, and I just had something in my gut feeling, thinking I can see this being another Fulham because we had 3 clear-cut chances in the box where the ball had come across twice. Salah had a bit of a fluff at a couple of chances, and I just thought I've got a feeling here that this is going to be the exact same thing. That's not me giving it Johnny Big Bollocks thinking, oh, I fucking knew what was going to happen. Of course, I expect us to fucking spank them after we got that first goal, because I thought that'd settle our nerves and then we can crack on. But it's just so frustrating because that was a golden opportunity to really put a gap between us and Everton and Leicester. And I worry about Man United a little bit because they've got a game in hand. You know, they win that game in hand, what would that put them on? They put them on 2 points behind us, and we've still got to play them again. You know, and it's we've got to play them twice, actually, haven't we? So it's really worrying. But the only saving grace, like what Tim just said there about the centre-back options, is, you know, we're only a few more days away from the January transfer window, and I would expect us to buy a centre-half. And obviously Nick's just put the comment in there as well saying, I think this shows that we need to buy centre-back in January. Williams wasn't fast enough to keep up with his player. Yeah, I agree with that. Williams did get caught out a couple of times. I reckon that probably the deals are already done behind the scenes. Do you know what I mean? I reckon as soon as Van Dijk got injured, I think we knew we had to find somebody. So I imagine we will get somebody. But the way we've been playing recently with centre-halves, I thought we were going to ride the wave. And I've said that on many shows that I thought we were getting somewhere, mate. But I just think, it's just, like you said, Matt, it just feels like a defeat, man. It really does. Yeah. We could have opened up a nice gap going into the new year. And especially with 2 tough away games now, it's so annoying.
Yeah, I think if we would have played the whole match how we played that second half, then we'd all be sitting here saying, you know what, a point. Probably didn't deserve that. But that first half was we were just unbelievable, weren't we, Mick? Let's try just for 5 minutes, let's be a little bit positive and just admire that first half before we just slate the boys, because that first half, it could have been endless, the amount of goals that we scored had it been another day.
Yeah, and I echo what Jay said though. Like, I could just see, like, once the more we were missing the chances, and like the final pass just weren't there, or Robbo was just firing balls in for fun, and no one was on the end of them. You're like, oh, any other day, like at least one of them, someone just gets a toe on and it goes bottom corner, and it just wasn't happening for us. And I could see it was going to happen. They were going to get more and more adventurous, and it is just frustrating, especially with, like you said, with Matip getting injured as well. I don't know how long that's going to be, because he's just kind of, I don't know if he's tweaked something, but yeah, that's just really frustrating. Especially we didn't have Naby Keita again today because Klopp said he's feeling a little bit injured. That was the quote he said, I think. So I don't know what that is. So it's just, yeah, frustrating. But yeah, good first half. But we needed to put a couple past them, because 1-0. Don't want to be a cliched little bastard like a commentator, but 1-0 is a dangerous scoreline. Doesn't matter who you're playing against, especially against a side who are going to play for corners, play for free kicks, and whip it in and send the big fellas forward from the back and hope for the best. And it worked perfect for them. Like, you've got to hand it to them. Like, they came and had a game plan, and it worked for them. So it feels like a defeat. In some ways, I'd rather lose like 2-0 than that, because it's like, you've got the whole game, you're in the lead. And what they scored in like the 82nd minute, and it was just so predictable. And then you're thinking, right, we've got at least 10 minutes here where we've got, like, we can go forward. Well, actually, we had an extra 4 minutes, didn't we? So we had an extra 12 minutes there where we had chances, and there was just no urgency, no intensity it was just a lot, like, endless balls into the box that it was kind of weren't working, and it was just kind of like we were just hoping rather than like being creatively, like, with the output of the balls. But yeah, really frustrating. But yeah, like you said, first half was good. It was just we needed to be tighter with those passes in the final third. Unfortunately, we weren't.
Yeah,
to take it. Sorry, Matt. Go on. No, I was just going about to say, just to add what Mick just said about the frustrations. If you think about it, with this West Brom side, they took points off Chelsea after being 3-0 down. So they got a point there. They took points off City. They were only beaten by United and Spurs by 1 goal. That's the way they've been playing, because they've been playing really gritty football. And like I said, they have been doing a fucking formation of 6-4-0. That's the way they've been playing their football. But we were much better than that. And that's, I'm trying to take positives out of it, where West Brom have got points away at other tough grounds. And then I don't know. I'm so fucking pissed off.
Yeah, and I think it's important to note that I don't think any of us are annoyed at how West Brom have come and played, because that you look at their squad, that if they want to survive in this league, this is how they're going to have to play.
Yeah, absolutely.
Our second half was just a stark comparison to the first. Like, we can wax lyrical about how well we played on the first half despite not taking our chances. But Tim, can you all summarize what we saw in that second half?
crap. just crap. Like it looked like meaningless football. It looked like we went into that. It looked like a halftime whistle was the full-time whistle for that Liverpool squad. They went in, they thought, right, job done. These guys clearly, I mean, they had no opportunities going forward in the first half. They played that 6-4-0. You had Fabinho and Matip standing, 10, 15 yards over the halfway line, and it looked like it was half pitch football essentially. And it looked like Liverpool went into the half going, well, it's just going to be another 45 minutes of that. These guys are clearly now just here not to get beaten 6 or 7-0. They don't want a thrashing, and they're going to sit back and they're just going to hold this result. And as Mick said, as the game went on, they continued to get more and more adventurous, and the warning sign was there with that long ball over the top, and Alisson comes to the rescue. And listen, we can if and but about how fluky the goal was. I mean, I've never seen a ball rebound off a post like that, but at the end of the day, it was kind of coming. It really was. And as we've all said, you got to give it to West Brom. They came in, they played a certain way, and they, we got a bit complacent and they punished us for it.
Yeah, go for it, Mick.
I was going to say we are like spoilt in a way that we've got these levels now that if we drop a little bit, it feels horrendous because you're so used to being up here that if like you're there and we're still playing well and you don't get the results, because I've just read a stat there. It's the first time since December 2016 that Liverpool have dropped points from a winning position at Anfield against the side starting a day in relegation zone. So what's that? 4 years. That's like, and that's what I mean. We are a bit spoiled that we are so good that you just expect levels. And like, you look at their team compared to ours, like we should really. That was as good as a team we could get with the current climate of players that we've got available, and we should we haven't even touched on that save towards the end from Firmino, which was like their keeper. He's been terrific this season, that Johnston, and that was just a worldy save, and that goes in. We scraped the win, and we're like, yeah, we've done it again, last minute goal, but yeah, just wasn't to be today.
No,
because I would have been expecting. If you look at the last results, it's 1-1 against West Brom, 7-0 against Palace, and you half expect it to be the other way around, given how both sides are playing. It's just very odd. And I was doing the live blog, and when we went ahead, I think I made a comment something along the lines of, it's going to be interesting to see how West Brom play this, because they need the point and they can't exactly come out because we specialise in picking teams off on the counter. And they didn't exactly attack until the last few minutes when they had to, because they very successfully, apart from the goal where Mane scored, pocketed our front three, frustrated them to no end. That furlong on the right had Mane just completely unfocused, and they came and they did their job exceedingly well. I don't think there's any other way to say it. And well, like Mick said, that save from Johnston, he's been doing that all season, hasn't he, Jay?
Yeah, he has, mate. And again, he's one of the reasons why they will probably, well, I'm not saying they probably will. If they're going to stay up, he will be a major reason why. And we saw against City how good he was. He made some fantastic saves at the Etihad, so it's no surprise that happened. Obviously disappointed that Firmino didn't pull it away. So, listen, lads, we just got to take it on the chin. It's just one of those things, and we've got to look at the positive, the fact that we're still top of the league. We're going into games against Newcastle and Southampton for the next two, which you think, we should be getting all 6 points. We've got Thiago to come back as well. I think having Thiago on that pitch will probably have unlocked a through ball or something like that no one else probably would have seen on the pitch. Maybe the Ox should have come on a little bit earlier, I thought, because he's the other one that has any balls to shoot from outside the area these days. We're trying to walk it in with the front six usually, and that pisses me off sometimes. I think just fucking hit it when you got 11 men behind the ball. Just hit it. If you hit it straight to the keeper and it bounces back out, let's just make him work. There's 2 shots on target the entire game. That's just really, really poor. And look, like, again, going back to the positives, we've still got these players to come back. Jota's going to come back. At the beginning of the year, Thiago's imminent. I expect him to be on the bench against Newcastle. So the positives are there, boys. And at the end of the day, like Mick said earlier, we've been spoilt last couple of years, and we were very spoilt with that title race last year. By this time last year, we sort of knew that it was sort of in the bag, didn't we, when we beat Leicester 4-0? So it's a little bit tighter this time. It just might make that title win at the end a little bit more sweeter, boys, with it being a lot closer.
The thing is, we're touching on the positives, Mick. Apart from that one, it's the third calendar year in a row that Liverpool haven't lost a Premier League game at Anfield. Pretty much a fortress now, isn't it?
It is, and that's what I'm talking about. Like the standards, like we are so good. Like the first half, like you said, Matt, we were so good, and I was just thinking to myself, we are lucky to have these players in this team and this manager. But it's just that we need to make against the Sam Allardyce side. You know exactly what you're going to get. You need to make your chances pay, and we just didn't do that. But yeah, like you said, Jay, positive. Thiago's back. Should be back next week for Wednesday, and then Jota's back February, I think, or January, isn't he? So once we get these back, and it was nice to see Ox come on. Like there was a couple of chances where he probably should have a shot. I think he wound up a couple of times and then just kind of passed it off to the Trent, and you're like, come on, just fucking well you. And as hard as you can in those games, you just don't know what's going to happen. They've got that many bodies at the back. Could have flew off one of their players and went in. Like it's just one of them. Like we need someone like Firmino had a shot in the first half, and I was like, wow. Surprised, like edge of the box for me. Now had a shot with his left foot. I was like, "Fucking hell!" But we need to do more of that in these type of games. So yeah.
Look at this clown.
Is that an Arsenal fan as well?
No idea. Let us know in the comments who you support, pal.
No, it's an Arsenal
fan. Brilliant. Cool. Nice
wow. One. Can I just check the table, boys? Wait there, one sec.
Yeah, just have a look at the table.
Sorry, boys. Sorry, we'll just stop what we're doing right now. 15th, 17 points. Yeah. Unlucky.
Fair enough. Nice. Well, thanks for joining us, though, pal. Thanks for getting the viewing numbers up. We appreciate it.
Oh yeah.
Nice
hit that subscribe button, mate. Go ahead.
Well, we talk shit every week, pal. Jump on. Fucking knobhead.
That's cheering me right up. Nice one, lad.
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, fellas. I know Mick's talking about how spoiled we are. We have to remember that we're in a position where
I'm just going to do my DT impression. Oh, fuck off, man!
I was just saying that Mick's saying how lucky we are, and to support a team that's not lost at home in 3 years, and we've only lost 6 or 7 games in the Premier League in total over the last 3 years. You guys have to remember, you have to wake up every morning and be thankful that you're not an Arsenal fan.
Yes, safe.
You get to wake up in the morning and you're stress free, and we've dropped points, played poorly, and we're still 3 points clear at the top. So 4 points. So.
A quick last point on the game before we move on slightly. If anyone's going to keep this lot up, it's Sam Allardyce, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, mate. At the end of the day, as much as we can't stand his football and it's not attractive to look at, he does what he gets paid for, and that's why he's done it in the past with many other teams. And it wouldn't surprise me if he did it with West Brom. And this will be his greatest escape if he does actually keep West Brom up from this point. And it's results like today where you go to a place like Anfield and you don't expect to pick up points. You go to the Etihad, you don't expect to pick up points. If that prick's still watching, you go to the Emirates and you expect to pick up points. Of course you do. I'm only messing. It is a tough place to go. We don't, generally do very well at the Emirates anyway. But getting a point like this for Sam Allardyce is massive, and it's massive for West Brom because they can pick up points against other clubs, and it's these types of results that might keep them up. So, well done, Bisto.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to have enough. I think they haven't got enough firepower up the top of the pitch. I think coming up against a team like Liverpool, the Man Cities of the world, not Arsenal, or like the good teams in the league now. His system is to sit back and counter and get a goal off a corner, which is against those teams is perfect. But coming up against a Brighton or Arsenal or Leeds or whatever, you're gonna have more of the ball. So you're gonna have to do something with the ball when you've got it. They haven't got the quality in midfield or in defence to play out from the back and like create more than like 4 or 5 chances in a game from open play that they're hoping for set pieces and that. So I hope he hasn't got enough, because I don't know what it is about Sam Allardyce, just hate the guy. But they're now on 8 points. The Fulham are on 11. So yeah, they're still pretty much stuck down there. But I don't think they'll have enough. I hope they haven't got enough, especially after that, because that's just doing my nut in. But yeah, anyway.
We move on, boys. Let's just see.
Yeah, we move on.
We're still top of the league. Still got a little bit of a cushion. Get that's out of our system now. Let's just go to next year and crack on. Well, we've got Newcastle, haven't we, before the year finishes off. So let's round it off in style. And then we start on the Monday against Southampton. Just crack on. Just enjoy the new year. You know what I mean?
I'm going to put in Big Sam getting it done, to be fair. With January transfer window coming up, getting his players in. But speaking of January, we've said that we were probably going to make some signings. If you boys could sign one centre-back, any centre-back, make it realistic, who would you sign? Tim, I'll start with you.
It's a weird one, but I'll go with Per Schurz from Ajax. Now, I understand that obviously that's probably sounds a bit weird, obviously after Ajax got, didn't make it through the group stages of the Champions League and all that kind of stuff, but I think he's 20 or 21 years old. He is lightning quick, a big 6'3" centre-back who's very comfortable with playing the ball around the back, and he just seems like the perfect player to sit and fit into a Klopp back line. One of the things that stood out when we played Ajax was the fact that he was able to outrun the likes of Sadio Mane in both home and away. He was dominant in the air, and he was a problem. So I think he'd fit right in, and I think he's physically capable of making a seamless transition into Premier League football. So for me, in terms of the perfect fit and long term as well, because he's only 21, I think he's probably the guy I would look to.
Mick?
I honestly have no idea. He'd be a good option, but I just don't know. We're talking about January signing someone. I don't know if we will. I honestly, I've got me. I don't know if it's going to be kind of just get by. Hope Fabinho stays fit, but I don't know if he's just going to kind of see what's going on with Matip first. And if Matip's out for maybe, 2 months, then maybe that forces his hand. But if he's going to be back for, if he's going to be back in 2-3 weeks, I think he'll just maybe stick as we are and just hobble on to the summer and then see what's what then. Because like you said, Jay, they've probably got stuff ready to do, but I just don't think January's the time to do it. Like you said, unless they pay a 10-15 million premium just on a player that they're going to sign in the summer anyway, just to get them in. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't got any, there's obviously the likes of Upamecano and Kanate and Shares and so many good names, so many good options. But I just, any of those would be great in the summer. I think that's probably the more, the most likely time we're going to see someone come in, I think.
Well, Jay, you said you think the business has already been done.
Yeah, I do. I do think that we'll have somebody up our sleeve already. I think Mick makes a very good point. When if you're gonna buy the best centre back that you can, who's going to be that long term partner for Virgil van Dijk, ideally you're probably going to get him in the summer, because if he's that good of a player, the club that he's at right now, they're not going to let him go. However, if a club that knows that they're going to lose a player in the summer, and then they can think, right, well, say he goes for 50 million, but we know we can get an extra 20 million out of him for going in January because Liverpool are desperate and everyone knows we're desperate for a centre-back. That could force the club's hand and go, well, what 6 months, what are we going to achieve? Now, given those names that were floating out there, if we hadn't drawn Leipzig in the next round, I would probably suggest that Upamecano is a very, very, very good shout. But then again, this is Leipzig. This is the team that let Timo Werner go before the Champions League semis. So again, you just don't know what happens in football these days. And cup ties don't exist anymore. You can play for two clubs in the Champions League, so it doesn't matter anymore. So that could be an issue. He's a bit of a cheat code of a defender, is Upamecano. I do rate him. I do like him very much, and he would suit being Van Dijk's partner. So there's obviously the lad at Schalke as well. Is it Kabak? He's been on the cards for a long time, 20 years of age. He's a name that just won't go away at the minute. I've seen recently Vestergaard has been suggested as well from Southampton. And Southampton fans have been calling him Virgil van Vestergaard the last couple of weeks, because apparently he's turned a corner. His performances have been very, very good. I'm not going to admit to you that I've been watching Southampton every week, so I couldn't say. I'll just take their word for it. Their fans know him better. But when he did play at Anfield, and you see him in the flesh, you think, fucking hell, he's massive. So I wouldn't say no to Vestergaard coming as well. I do. It's one of them boys, isn't it? Again, you just can't call it, especially with the January transfer window. But again, and the lad that Tim said, the lad from Ajax as well, he's definitely on the list as well. So if we get somebody, I'd like to see somebody come in, because I think for everybody in the fan base, we're all getting nervous, aren't we, when the centre back pairing is changing. If it wasn't for Fabinho being fucking world class in that position at the minute, Boyz would be really suffering. So as long as we get somebody, I'll feel a lot confident going to the last 6 months of the season.
Yeah, I think there's not much more to say. I wouldn't mind. It's not going to happen, but I wouldn't mind Wesley Fofana from Leicester, but they're not going to let him go, having only been there for 6 months.
Yeah,
nah, mate, no chance of that.
One more name I'd throw in the mix is Connor Cody, a return of Connor Cody. I know he had a fluff up when Wolves came to Anfield, but he's been superb for them since he's taken their, just a proven Premier League striker to come in and pair up with Fabinho until the likes of Van Dijk and Joe Gomez return. That wouldn't be a bad fit, and I don't think you'd have to pay a premium like you would for the likes of Upamecano or Per Schurz, especially in January. So
very true.
Yeah,
very true. But I suppose we'll find all this out in just a matter of days, really, because knowing Liverpool, if we have signed anyone, it's already sealed, and we'll probably be getting a photo on midnight on January 1st. So fingers crossed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Before we go though, if there are any Arsenal fans watching, don't take anything we said personally. It's just a bit of a bell end in the comments who's been a bit of a tit. We do like the club, you know what I mean? We do like you, and you've got a decent fan base. But we just don't like the bell end that's been in our comments. But it was a bit of fun.
We'll be back for the Newcastle match in a couple of days, and until then, I guess we just have to enjoy being top of the table.
In a bit.